Hello and thanks for joining me for some landscape photography chat this time. Don't panic, I do have another landscape photography video in the pipeline. I was out on the Snowdon-Watkin path yesterday, and so that hopefully will be out shortly. But in the meantime, I just wanted to make a very quick video on my thoughts on the new releases from Adobe this week. Now firstly, the new color grading feature that replaces split toning. Well, it doesn't really replace it, it builds on it in fact. I've had a play with it and I really like it. The previous split toning facility they had I used quite a lot, and I've done videos about that in the past. But what you can now do is target the midtones, and that makes quite a big difference, and there's some really nice interesting controls they've added around that. So it may be that I'll make a video about that at some point in the future when I've really got to grips with it. But in the meantime, I wanted to talk about the big feature in Photoshop 2021, which of course is sky replacement. Now there's been a lot of heated debate already this week. People that were previously friends almost falling out over it. Some saying that it's an outrage to even think about replacing a sky, and others saying, well, it's all creativity, isn't it? So what? I am not remotely going to come down on either side of those arguments in public. You might be able to deduce my thoughts on it from things I've said in the past, but I'm not going to go into it in public. And what I did want to talk about is one of the things that I am definitely going to be using it for. It is absolutely brilliant, and I've got an image here where I'm going to show you exactly how I'll be using it. Now, as you can see on screen, I've got something with kind of a blown out sky. There is detail there, but because it was a high dynamic range, sky was very bright and the foreground was very dark. This was shot on my iPhone, and so even though it's a raw file, I've got plenty of detail to work with. It was always going to struggle with that dynamic range. Now, when I'm out and about in the hills, it's very easy to target the sky because usually there's just a line of mountains, and the quick select tool works perfectly well. An image like this could well take me 15 or 20 minutes just to make a decent mask with a select and mask. It's perfectly doable, it's just a bit laborious, and that's where sky replacement comes in. What I'm going to do with this is first of all just add another layer in here, because that's the layer that I'm going to work on in a moment, and then we'll just go straight into the sky replacement tool and click OK. That's all I have to do, because what it's done is it's created an absolutely superb mask. So I'm going to grab the mask off this layer here, pull it down onto the layer that I want to darken. I can get rid of the sky replacement group now because I may or may not be using that sort of thing in the future. But anyway, what I've now done is I've got the sky targeted beautifully. So what we'll do is we'll put a camera raw filter over this. And as you can see, it's now, I've pre-prepared the filter not to waste your time. I've darkened it, added a bit of dehaze. But as you can see, it's absolutely perfect. All the detail in between these trees, in these gaps, in the roof timbers, absolutely superb. That would have taken me ages to do it manually. I'd have got the same result, but it would have taken me a lot longer. So no benefit to me whatsoever in spending my time on it when I can now do it at the press of a button. So thank you, Adobe. That's brilliant. It's going to come in really handy. I'm sure plenty of woodland photographers will find that really useful. And that's my thoughts on Photoshop 2021. Thank you ever so much for joining me. I really hope you found that interesting. And if you have, why not subscribe now and join me next time. Cheers.